Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small, the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Today, I want to talk to you about the perfect trust distribution schedule. Before I get to that though, I want to remind you, if you have questions about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, and you want to talk with us over the phone for free, you can do so by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, perfect trust distribution schedule. I get asked this all the time by potential clients, by clients. Thought I'd come out here and just share it in case you were curious. And before we get into it, a couple of caveats, a couple of, limitations. This trust distribution schedule is typically regulated, set for minors. So it's set for younger children. I would say, if you're under 25, you'll see why here in a minute. That's what this trust distribution schedule is really set for. When you get over 25, when you get over 30, when you get over 40, it's really up to you, whatever you want to do. You're going to know who your kids are by that time, assuming you want to distribute your assets to your kids, and you can set it up however you want. This will give you some ideas, some considerations even for those type of beneficiaries. But what I'm going to tell you today is really set for sort of younger children. And that's what I have. Right now, at the time that I'm making this video, I have a 10, 8, and 6-year-old. And so this is the type of trust that I have set up for them. Doesn't make it the best, but I thought about it a little bit, and this is what I've settled on, something that sort of meets all of the different things that I'm trying to do all at the same time. You'll see what I'm talking about. So first things first, when it comes to trust distribution, the cool thing is that you can do whatever you want. Okay, you have a tremendous amount of flexibility. You can give it all away at one time, or you can give access to it all at one time. You can give access to it only at the discretion of the trustee forever. You can do really anything in between. What I have set up a schedule for is basically until I'll give you the full schedule, and then I'll tell you the why behind it. How about that? So the way mine is set up is until they turn 21, distributions can only be made by the trustee on a discretionary basis for health, support, education, maintenance. The example that I always give when I'm on the phone with people is, if one of your kids goes to college, they would say, hey, trustee, I'm going to college. Trustee would say, okay, great. They would pay that. That's clearly education. They could also say, hey, trustee, I'm going to college. I need a car. I want a Ferrari. Trustee would say, I agree that you need a car, but you're not getting a Ferrari. I'll hook you up with a Jeep. Okay? So you have some discretion there on how those distributions are made, really so that those assets can be used productively at a time when your kid is probably not able to make the best decisions. And what I always tell people too when it comes to these type of things is you have to remember when your kids are young, it's not really necessarily that they're bad kids, but they lack experience. They lack the ability to see the bad in people. They lack the ability to see bad investment options, and they open themselves up to making really bad choices. It's the reason why pro athletes go broke all the time. It's very rare that they just burn it all. What happens is somebody gets in their ear, or they have these friends, right, in quotation marks, that get them to do things that are just not in their best interest. Okay, so until they're 21, only distributions on a discretionary basis for health, support, education, and maintenance. When they turn 21, something starts to happen, and income begins to get distributed out to them on a quarterly basis, typically. The income that I'm talking about is only income that's generated by the trust. This means dividends from stock. This means like rental income, potentially if you had rental houses, things like that. It doesn't mean the appreciation on a asset or anything like that. The reason for this is when you start to accumulate income inside of a trust, you pay much higher tax rates than you do if it's split out to just an individual. And for most people, they don't have a lot of high income producing assets. If you did, you may want to rethink this number. You may want to think of something else that you can do related to this. But for most people, let's say you have $300 in a year of dividends that you create. You might distribute that out to your kid, and they can just do whatever they want with it, right? It doesn't matter. So at 21, that income starts to get distributed on a quarterly basis or on an annual basis. Depends on what kind of income you're generating. So then, until they turn 25, we continue this no distributions unless at the discretion of the trustee for health, support, education, maintenance. By the way, what support and maintenance mean? Generally, it means like maintaining lifestyle. Okay, so whatever life they have kind of been accustomed to before you died, which is when all of these distributions would kick in, the trustee has the authority, the discretion to help your children to maintain that lifestyle. Okay, could be helping with rent, things like that. For me, when they turn 25, they can have up to a third of their share of the trust just by asking for it. They don't have to have a reason. They could burn it. They can do whatever they want, and it doesn't matter. Okay? When they turn 30, they can have up to 2/3. When they turn 35, they can have as much as they want. All right? That's how my trust distribution schedule is set up. That's what I think the best trust distribution schedule is. I'm about to tell you why. I read this great book. It's called Die with Zero, I believe. I don't know who the author is. It's a really great book. You should read it if you have time. The idea behind the book is not just about money and inheritances and things like that. The idea is there are certain phases in your life where you can take advantage of opportunities, you can take advantage of health, you can take advantage of all of the different things that life affords you. You know, if you want to climb Mount Everest, for example, to do it in your early 30s is going to be way easier and probably more enjoyable than if you try to do it when you're 75. Okay, that's one of the sort of ideas behind Die with Zero. But within that book, they also talk about when it's beneficial to receive money. When it is most beneficial to receive money is when you are kind of just starting out on life. That's when it can give you the biggest boost. That's when it can have the greatest impact on your future moving forward. Just like if you started investing in like a Roth IRA for your kids when they were 0, or you bought a whole life insurance policy for them that can accumulate over time, like infinite banking, just Google it, just trust me. These can have tremendous impacts down the road for your kids. Well, that 25 to 30 year range is when most people need money the most. If you're going to start a business, if you want to buy a house, if you want to invest in real estate, whatever you want to do, you typically are high on motivation, high on ideas, low on money. So these assets can actually sort of give the biggest bang for their buck at this time, from that 25 to 35, 40-year-old range. After 35 plus, 40 plus, most of the time, if you have your stuff together, you're relatively sort of well organized. Yeah, the money can move the needle a little bit, but what you probably would do is take that money and just save it for retirement, or do something with it along those lines. But 25 to 35, you can really use it to advance your life in meaningful ways. So for me, I want to make sure my kids have access to those assets if I'm gone in that way. I want them to be able to utilize these assets to provide them opportunity for growth. Okay? Not just to save for retirement or save for the next generation. That's just not me. I want to put these assets to productive use. And so that's why I think this is the best trust distribution schedule around. Okay? Now, you may have different ideas than me, but that's okay. When I talk to clients, when I talk to potential clients, I always tell them, look, I'm going to give you these ideas, but it's not because I think they're right or wrong necessarily. I want to just plant seeds in your head to give you some foundation for you to pick and decide what you want. That's all that matters to me. You tell me what you want, I'll make it happen. Okay? So I believe this is the best trust distribution schedule for all of those reasons I just sort of dropped, but maybe not. If you think not, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would do and why. I'd love to hear it, and I'm happy to respond. Okay? But that's it for now. Best trust distribution schedule, in my opinion. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, that's great. Hit the like button, leave a comment, follow, I don't know, whatever you can do. That'd be great. Also, if you want to talk, if you have questions about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, and you want to talk with us over the phone for free, you can do so by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, that's it. This was a long one, a goodie and a longie. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I am Christopher Small. I am the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. We do it well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon. See ya.